Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Uninc Edu, our podcast for creators. Each episode focuses on a new skill that you can adopt while making your impact. We bring in mentors from all walks of life who will share their insights and guide you on your journey of unlearning. I'm your host, Ben Gibson, and join me on my mission to build a space for creators like you to find everything they need. My story begins in Andrews, a small town in West Texas, born from shame. I am deeply honored that you are here today, and thank you so much for taking the time to check us out and join us. Before every episode begins, I'm going to invite you to take a big breath with me as we relax into this session. So you can go ahead and breathe in deep. Let go, release. Okay. Uninc Edu is all about skills. It's about exploring skills that we have never heard of and trying them. It's about stepping into courage as you learn to focus on the next skill you want to develop with us. Today, we have Xavier Alvarado joining us. Our first few episodes of Uninc Edu are going to be all about using ChatGPT and AI in our work. Xavier is a local artist in Austin, Texas, and he mentored with us this past fall in the cohort. It was so good having him at the cohort. All the participants loved having him. He was a joy to have, and he's such a kind spirit. So I'm super excited for him to join us today. If you'd like to skip forward to about 10 minutes in this episode, you can jump straight to the interview with Xavier on the topic for today. But the topic is going to be, well, I was talking to Xavier before we started. We were planning for this episode, and he was telling me how he has been using ChatGPT to write proposals and write-ups for projects that he's working on. So we thought that might be a good topic to work through today and explore what that's all about with him. I'm also going to be asking him a few questions about AI in general, like what the future might look like for creators. But I hope you enjoy it. I would say personally, ChatGPT has been one of the most amazing tools I have ever used, digital tools, I guess I could say. It has helped me in ways that I would have um, never imagined. The way I'm able to create a website now is totally different than um, any way I have in the past. Uh, from I guess I can share with you, I'm not the best copywriter, and copywriting can be really challenging, and it's a, it's a, it's a, it takes a lot of skill to write copy for a business and to communicate clearly, to communicate your value. So on a personal front, it has been helping me so much with clients lately. Uh, I was just putting together a proposal, a couple uh, pitch decks for some projects I was working on, and ChatGPT has been a tremendous help in organizing my approach and helping write some of the copy for what I'm trying to communicate. Even down to this podcast, I used ChatGPT to help outline, create a blurb that I put just now to describe today's episode. So all around, it's been very, very cool. Um, I guess the one other thing I'll note is that we're going to talk a little bit about what AI for artists. I'm excited to hear Xavier's take on that. That there is some going on out there about AI art and what that means for the work that AI is pulling. So we'll dig into that with Xavier as well. But I think he's here now, so we can go to it with him. Let me just let him in here. And there he is, the man of the hour.
Nah, man, that's you, brother. How you been, dude?
Hi. I've been pretty good.
Uh-huh.
I am excited. I was just giving them the rundown on today's episode and introducing you, but it probably did not do you any justice. So, how, would you like to tell us a little bit about who you are and what are you all about?
Yes, so my name is Xavier Alvarado. I'm an artist based out in Austin, Texas. I'm from Houston. I was raised in Houston. Moved around all over, but yeah, man, I'm an Austin-based artist as of now, and been creating since I was 6. Um, well, forever actually, but started painting since I was about 6. And I specialize in mixed media art. I teach classes out here in Austin, um, art classes in perspective. Uh, and yeah, that's pretty much me, man.
Yeah, I know you had a thread the last time we were talking about perspective,
Hmm.
and how important that is to you. Like, I guess I'll dig into that a little bit. What is that about? Why is perspective a theme for you?
Perspective is a theme, and it's very powerful to me because that's where your direction will go, right? Anything that you focus on, which is your perspective, you'll see, you know. Um, and that's the same thing with art. That's the same thing with your goals in life, with how you see that always cliche saying, the glass half full or half empty. With perspective, you're able to reframe your circumstances, right? You could be given a bad hand, but if you look a little bit deeper, you reframe with the circumstances. That's all through perspective. And art specifically helps you take ideas, materials, colors, and mix them. And create a new perspective.
Absolutely. And what comes to mind for me is impacting the way that you feel
Hmm.
on a day-to-day basis, like how key that could be to your experience.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
one thousand
yeah,
percent.
yeah. And I was just telling them as well. You were one of our favorite mentors from the cohort last fall. I feel like we got a lot of feedback
Hmm.
from your session. They really enjoyed having you. How have things been going since you mentored with us last fall?
Man, things have been going great. I have stepped into my art much more, and I'm accepting more of my art, and the ideas, the other ideas that people pose to me with my art, and in doing so, um, you know, I've just got even more great opportunities from that. I've been creating more. I've had more inspiration to create. So it's been really beautiful, man. It's been a
Yeah,
blossom.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I I feel like someone was on stage at some big award ceremony and said that the life of an artist is the only life worth living. I feel like there's some truth to that. I think,
Hmm.
in how you get to live so authentically in your creative pursuits.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Um, I guess we can go ahead and jump in. I know we only have about 20 minutes today with you,
Hmm.
but we can jump into this topic of AI. Uh,
Let's do it.
it's changing the world as we speak. It's growing so quick. I get online and there's new tools every week.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, high level, about all this AI buzz happening?
I think it is a new technology, right? I think it's a lot of propaganda, and as we know, propaganda is meant to stir the masses, right? To create a certain idea about certain things. So, with that being said, we have to break it down to what it is. It's a new technology. The same thing happened with the cell phone. The same thing happened with the GPS. The same thing happened with the microwave, right? People were scared because it was using radioactive things, but it actually helped us live, faster, right? Or heat up things, faster, quicker, sufficient. So I say all that to say that AI is literally a tool, so that we can put our emotions and our hysteria at ease. It's a tool. Let's look at it like that. When we start to give AI or any technology too much power, we're taking ourselves out of it, right? We become scared until somebody else sees it a different way and uses it, right? A lot of people relate to social media or to Instagram. It's like, oh man, I wish I would have jumped on it ahead of time. And then before you do, it gets away from you.
Let's jump into that topic around giving AI power. Can you
Hmm.
elaborate a little bit more on what does that mean to you? Giving AI too much power. I'd like
Hmm.
to elaborate more.
So, giving AI power, right? What that means to me, and in my perspective, I would say that AI is a tool. Again, it's a new technology, right? It's always been hiding in plain sight for a long time, and I'm gonna make it real clear on why I believe this. So first, I want to talk about the risk of AI. Right? There's the risk of AI, and stop me if you want me to break this up. The risk of AI is basically, because I made some points here, is it's a lot of it can be biased if you program it to be. It can be all encompassing if you program it to be, right. This is what people get scared about as far as like unemployment. It's taking the place of people's jobs, um, and it can also infringe on privacy depending on how much you give it, right. When you accept terms and conditions to a certain platform that may have AI in it, or if you're using the tool of AI, um, then you're accepting certain conditions, or it only gives back to you what you give it. Now the benefits of it, it's an automated speed, right? It automates anything that you give it. It's increased efficiency and decision making skills, right? So you can save on time. The biggest thing that I would say, um, to understand it, and I'll reiterate this, is to remember that one, it is a tool, and two, it's been hiding in plain sight, right? You got to think of our superheroes. Tony Stark, he uses Jarvis. It's Anakin Skywalker use R2D2. These are actual sidekicks to help them fulfill a mission or to fight a battle or anything, right? So we got to use these tools in order to fight battles. And my number one thing that I would say that trumps all of it is to study it. Study it, right? Whether you're scared about it or you want to use it, it's important to study and get ahead of all of these things so that um, you're just hip to it. You know what I mean? If you don't want to use it, study it anyway.
I love the analogy of it being a sidekick as a hero.
Hmm.
As a hero of your own story, it could be a sidekick. I love that. I feel like it has been that to me personally using ChatGPT and some of the other tools. And if AI was your sidekick in your hero's story,
Hmm.
um, what is your journey so look like? What does your hero's journey look like? What is your story of what battle are you fighting, or what story are you building in this world?
It's a few things. So I would say, one, I already use Siri, right? I talk to Siri all the time. I tell Siri to set alarms for me. I tell Siri to wake me up in 30 minutes. Um, put something on the calendar for me. So Siri already helps me be a more disciplined individual. Um, I would say also, you know, I would use AI as a sidekick to help me make better art, to communicate my art better, to communicate my vision better, right? Um, and I use my art to serve and to bring alignment and to just inspire. So if it can help me do that, I'm gonna use it in that way to do that.
There, yeah, that wasn't a very good question that I asked you, but that's what I was exactly what I was getting at. Thank you, thank
Hmm. Hmm.
you. So let's jump a little bit into the controversy that we hear around AI, and I've seen some on social media, but my high level understanding is that AI is pulling from images that are generated by artists. And um, what are your thoughts around this controversy? It doesn't have to be that topic either, but
Hmm.
what have you been hearing or seeing, or what do you think?
I haven't paid too much attention to the AI generated images, like as far as paintings, because one, that's not necessarily my field. I'm a mixed media artist, so a lot of my paintings have texture to it. You can tell it's done by a human hand. Um, Now, even when, right, if they decide to make a robot that paints, that's cool. But there's no denying the energy and frequency in which a human can operate, and that is communicated through art. They'll, I mean, it can be very metaphysical, right? But it's very true. You can tell when a human has made something. Now, if you're not, um, and most AIs is a lot of online transference, right? You could fake the funk for however long that you want to, um, which is an AI, right? That doesn't have a soul, and they could communicate certain things, but one, they have to get over and actually make it a physical thing, right? They have to come from the internet or whatever technology source and make it a physical thing, and then they'll have to explain it, and that takes a brain to do that, a mind. And a lot of AIs work off, their puppets, and we are the puppeteers, right? Again, it's a tool. It's a tool. So um, there would have to be somebody else operating it, and they can only do that for so long, right? Or if somebody finds a way to do that. But I think again, um, I'm saying a lot, but I think again, AI will call everybody to focus on their individual specific talents and superpowers, right?
That's exciting. Yeah, that's a great topic to point to,
Hmm.
especially as we lean into the next question around AI impacting the lives of creators in the future. What
Hmm.
do you mean by that? How do you think AI will be bringing that forward in humanity and allowing us to step more fully into our talents, our skills, and our gifts?
Because it only compacts and compounds the ideas that we give it. So if you have a great idea, right? Um, it's an automation thing, you know. It'll only suggest more good ideas, right? You still have to prompt it with certain directions, just like a GPS. You send in the address in the GPS, and it's gonna, do the path for you. And it's still upon you because the GPS does have its pitfalls. It can't see construction all the time. It can't see everything, but it has certain routes, right? It can give you alternative routes, but it doesn't see a pothole in the street. It doesn't, So you still have to navigate it. It's still a sidekick. And for the future creatives, right? I would say in my case, I would say it will help you be more business savvy so that you can focus on your creation, you creating specifically.
I love that. Yeah, it's even helped outline a bunch of business processes for me with
Yeah.
Uninc. It's great for that. And I like to think of it as leveling the playing field more and more as a tool that's more accessible to. I was just sharing with him about copywriting. For me, has been a big challenge in my own
Mm-hmm.
business in the past, and now I can make websites and I can
Mm-hmm.
write blogs like never before. So it's definitely going to be bringing opportunity to a lot of people. Uh, and how about let's dig into that a little bit more about how you've been using ChatGPT in your work, specifically in your work and in your business. How has it been helping you?
So specifically, ChatGPT is a so this I went into defining, right. So ChatGPT, uh, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, is automated chat services found on customer service websites as people can ask it questions or request clarification to ChatGPT replies. The GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, which refers to how GPT processes and requests and formulate responses. So I say all that to say, with that definition, when I write out my artist statement, right, because that's very important to apply for grants for your contemporary resume, you need to use keywords. You need to use, you need to communicate your art effectively, right? And these business people speak keywords. You know what I mean? They speak analytics, and Chat GPT can help you find those keywords, a little bit faster, given the information that you give it. So I used it to write out what I meant by my art and how I plan to implement a strategy or my philosophy. And I run it through ChatGPT. And I had some pushback at first. I was like, I don't know, you know, but it actually just used my words and maybe changed up 2 or 3 words, to have an effective statement.
That's incredible. Yeah, and especially as lengthy as grant applications can be and as complicated as they can be, how well you have to tell stories in there. So I can see I can help uh, crafting out a proposal,
Yep.
um, helping with your copy in line with what they're trying to find.
Yep.
Um,
100%.
and I guess let's tell us if we haven't done write-ups or proposals before, just high level, what is the importance of this as a skill in your field as an artist?
Proposals help you fund your idea, right? If you have a collaboration that you want to work with, if you want to get into ice cream, right? Present a win-win situation to that ice cream company for both parties, and you may have to do it for free, or depending on the proposal and the analytics or whatever that you show, you may get a percentage. Again, this levels the playing field for being business savvy and a creative. Um, and not only that, I would say play every card and use every tool, right? Every tool at your disposal. If we do have ChatGPT, let's use that. Then take that statement that we give, run it through a friend. Hey, does this sound like me? Does this sound like somebody would invest in that? Phone another friend and say, hey, I just checked with so and so, and I checked with ChatGPT. How does this sound? You know what I mean? It's a lot of cross checking. You know what I mean? I think that if we operate one dimensional, we will only be one dimensional. You know. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but I don't want
No,
to revel into that.
yeah, no, that's good. I think you've outlined. Okay, well, maybe give us an example of a proposal that you've done lately. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've worked on lately?
So for this grant, they asked what was my artist statement, right? So I used ChatGPT to clear that up. My CV, which is contemporary resume for artists, I used Chat GPT for that, and then my proposal was for a solo exhibition, right? So I had to break down what materials I would use in the show, um, the budget cost, as well as the materials I would use. And you know, all of that is provided as templates online. It's Google, and Google was the original AI to me, in my perspective. So, um, yeah, yeah,
That's
proposals are very important. My bad.
that. No, that's incredible. That's awesome that you were able to use ChatGPT to flush through those, get through those pieces to build out your proposal and submit it. Um, that's exactly what we're going to, for our listeners, that's what we're going to be getting into next with Xavier, is talking through the specifics on how he went about using ChatGPT to do these things. But I guess we could bring this portion to a wrap here. Xavier, thank you. Thank you so much again for
For
taking
sure.
the time. So gracious of you to spend your time with us. Um, for our listeners, we are offering a micro skill course. It's Pay What You Can with Xavier Alvarado on uninc.io. So if you want to go in there and you want to learn how to use ChatGPT to build out a proposal of your own, he's going to be talking through some steps in there, and we'll have some modules for you to move through. So feel free to check that out at uninc.io. It is Pay What You Can. But Xavier, is there anything you'd like to let the listeners know before they go, or anything you'd like to ask of them?
Again, be your own superhero in your story. Use AI if you plan to. Think of it as a sidekick. Be Tony Stark or be Anakin Skywalker, and watch those shows. Look at how or movies and look how they used it. And remember that you are uh, the brain and the mind.
I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Xavier. And thank you, everybody who's tuning in today. We will see you at our next episode. Peace.